works out before I spend on that.
I got a 1 minute and 16-second countdown. Cool.
Okay. Okay. Well, I can't hear you on StreamYard.
Huh.
Oh, now I can. Yeah. Okay. I just muted. I've got YouTube up in a thick corner, and I just muted it. I can see YouTube out of the corner of my eye. Okay. And you should be a wrench.
Yep, we're live right now.
Okay. Well, hello, anybody out there? this is this. I imagine a lot of people get this kind of discouragement at the beginning. I hope. I see Pop is usually not available till after 6. We'll see if he shows up. But then I think Gorilla's got something going, and several other people have things going on. But there's no free night as far as I know.
Nope. Wise man once said the internet is large. So
Yeah. Oh, I tell you, I finally signed up for Apple TV.
Oh no.
Yeah, so I can watch that For All Mankind finally.
Excellent.
And I've been binging that. I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. It's pretty good.
I need to look that up. It's my bailiwick. It's the subject matter I really like.
Yeah.
I like that you put Pop Culture Curator's site.
Yeah, I don't know if he's still got that going or not, but I figured I'd put that up there.
Yeah, that's good.
And just in case. And we'll see what happens. Okay. So we are live. There we go. Close that out. Oops. Okay, I've got YouTube muted. Well, Slim Pickens is a guest today. Look at that.
Yep. Major Kong. You know, he's misquoted a lot in his famous line where he says a guy could have a pretty good weekend in Vegas, is what people say when he actually says Reno.
Oh. I've been to both, and I don't like either, really. Casinos are not my thing.
I like Reno, but not for the casinos.
I went there for the first IPSC limited match way back when they had their first limited match, limited nationals, and we had to dress in layers because it was on a range north of town. So in the morning it was about 30 degrees, and this afternoon it was like 80 degrees. And we had to dress in layers, but you start and there's ice all over the props and everything.
Yeah.
Well, let's see. I can't upload this thing because it's too big. I don't think.
There was an old air mobility command saying, it was eat when you can, sleep when you can, have fun when you can, and always, always, always bring a jacket. You never know where you're going to end up. You do an exercise where you're supposed to elephant walk the airplanes,
Uh-huh.
and then they tell the the last two to do a full takeoff, and you'll get orders in the air,
Oh,
and then
gee.
you'll get diverted somewhere. So you might come back to your base. You might be out on the system for 2 weeks. So you never know.
Jeez.
Made life interesting, that's for sure.
Okay. I should be seeing the
Yeah.
presentation. Be nice if when I upgrade, all these other streamer things will disappear.
Looks good on YouTube.
Yeah. All right. Well, that was easy enough. I had to shift things around because when I run PowerPoint, it tends to default to displaying the presentation on a particular monitor.
All right.
I don't know why. I'm going to have to look into that.
It's broadcasting in 720
Yeah.
on YouTube.
Yeah, I can't go higher than that without the pay program. My camera will do it, but and it's not that expensive a camera. I think it was only like $40 or so. I don't want to put me on camera anyway. So. Okay, shall we give a little time to see if, say, quarter after, or what do you think?
Yeah. I could talk about some of the trivia I found during that time.
Okay, yeah. I
Um,
saw 3 good trivia sites. One was IMDb, and there was
Yeah.
another one like Golden Age of something.
Right. So this film was distributed by Universal International, and it was released in 1955 as a double feature with The Mummy, which I thought was very interesting.
The Boris Karloff movie?
Yeah.
Wow.
It was one of the first major science fiction movies to be done in Technicolor, too.
Huh.
Yeah, very early. Um, it was produced by a guy named William Allen, which you probably are familiar with. He did movies like It Came from Outer Space, Tarantula, Mole People, The Colossus of New York, Creature from the Black Lagoon. But he was actually best known for being the reporter who was asking Orson Welles what rosebud meant. He was
Oh,
asking around, yeah, when he was an actor. So, what was the meaning of rosebud? So, directed by Joseph Newman. He did Gunfight at Dodge City, Tarzan, the Ape Man. So this is really kind of an unusual movie for him, I would think. But I think he did some other sci-fi movies. Should have looked that up. The movie was actually based on a serialized magazine. Thrilling Wonder Stories was the name of the magazine in 1949, and then was conglomerated and published as a book in 1952. So then there was Rex Reason. He did The Creatures That Walk Amongst Us.
yeah.
And
His partner in crime on this movie, Jeff Morrow, was in that too. I saw.
yeah. Faith, I can never pronounce her last name.
From what I saw of her on IMDb, she wanted to pronounce it Domergue.
Domergue, okay.
Yeah, she was born in New Orleans, so
Yeah, a little
she's
French
probably correct
influence.
about that.
Yeah. She did Came from Beneath the Sea, Voyage to the Prehistoric Planet, big hits, and was
Yeah.
actually one of the first starlets that was discovered by Howard Hughes and signed to RKO Pictures,
Oh.
and is considered one of the early scream queens. Too, though. Then there's Jeff Morrow. He did Kronos and the Giant Claw. But he also
That's the one I
appeared.
was behind.
Yeah. He appeared in TV shows like The Rifleman, Bonanza, Wagon Train, My Friend Flicka, Daniel Boone, and was a 3-time guest star on Perry Mason. So that's kind of cool. Of
I
course, we
keep
know.
mixing him up with Jeff Corey,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
they're two different people for sure. Well,
You know, Russell Johnson's in this, and
yeah,
he was the
I've got some
professor.
detail on Russell
Uh,
Johnson. That's pretty
yeah.
interesting.
Um,
We'll get
it
to the
was
end of.
it was an inspiration for the Coneheads on Saturday Night Live with Dan Aykroyd.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's where the Exeter and the giant heads
Yeah,
come from.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Um, the special effects department had a problem with making the costume. We talked about this on our original viewing of this. Um, that he couldn't get the legs to match the upper body, so due to time and money, they just put him in a pair of pants.
Oh,
But
gee.
all the movie posters show the mutant as it was supposed to be. Yeah, it wasn't. Let's see. Oh yeah, it was shot in a weird 1.37 to 1 ratio, and it was photographed because some of the theaters were converted over and some were still at the 2 to 1 ratio.
Uh,
So it was filmed so that the negative could be used either way by the projectionist, or not the negative, but the print. So it could have the letterbox on the top and the bottom, or it could
uh-huh.
be the big, almost TV type ratio that movies were at that time, depending on what the theater wanted to do. The actors Morrow and Reason did not like the mutant at all, and they were embarrassed
No,
by him. Uh,
kind of thought it
um,
would degrade what otherwise would have been a pretty good movie.
yeah, yeah. And then another little interesting fact I found out that the cat was called Orangey Minerva and was a male. Yeah, it was a male marmalade, and was trained by Frank Inn, which I remember Frank Inn when I was a kid. He did Benji and Lassie and Asta, the Thin Man series dog. Um,
Really?
then I found out Benji's real name was Higgins, and he was on Petticoat Junction. But Frank Inn also trained Arnold the pig from Green Acres.
Oh,
So, but Orangey was in R.M.S. Brooks, Alfred Hitchcock Presents, Shirley Temple's Stories, Dick Van Dyke Show, Beverly Hillbillies, My Favorite Martian, Mission Impossible, Batman,
jeez.
Incredible Shrinking Man, Diary of Anne Frank, Breakfast at Tiffany's, Gidget, um, and lived to be 17 years old and then passed away. Frank Inn would keep the ashes of his beloved pets, and when Frank died, he had them all buried with him. So
Hmm.
Orangey is actually buried at the Forest Lawn Memorial Park with all the Hollywood elites.
Jeez.
Yeah,
Well, that's
yeah.
dedication. Maybe I'll do that.
All your
Let's see.
pets?
The ones that are still here.
Yeah,
Too late for the other ones. They've been gone for years.
yeah.
Okay, I just ordered up Kronos and the Giant Claw because I didn't have those in my stack of stuff. Um, Colossus of New York doesn't really fit into these others.
Oh yeah, Colossus of New York. Yeah.
Okay. Being a world famous broadcaster costs money. So I do have a copy of Plan 9 from Outer Space to consider
Oh
for
yeah.
future. For future, I've got Queen of Outer Space with Zsa Zsa.
Right.
Got the Serial Radar Men from the Moon, Man from Planet X. It Came from Outer Space, which is one of Hungary's favorites, I think. And Russell Johnson's in that also. got It, The Terror from Beyond Space, which is a spaceship movie, kind of sort of a
Right.
predecessor to Alien. Got Target Earth and The Crawling Eye with Forrest Tucker,
Ooh.
Earth versus the Flying Saucers. Got the original The Day Earth Stood Still.
Oh yeah. See, I
What I
have
want to
not
do,
seen.
you've never seen that?
I have never seen that. It's one of those movies that's eluded me.
Oh, I do have Chronos. Son of a gun. Never mind. I just ordered that. I'm going to cancel that order. And I have Dark Star, which isn't the same vintage as this, but I'd like to run that because that's John Carpenter, Dan O'Bannon's first thing to hit the theaters professionally. So basically, their final exam for their for graduation from UCLA.
Oh yeah, film school.
Yeah. Let's see. I'm going to take Chronos off.
I enjoy the editing process a lot.
Do you?
And yeah, and I've wondered if I've missed my mark in life.
I like it, and the more I do it, the better I get at it. As far as editing video,
Right.
um,
I've just learned how to do fades, not from like fade to black, fade back,
uh-huh.
but crossfade, so that
Oh,
you have two pictures happening at the same time,
oh yeah,
and one fades out, but
yeah.
is still showing the other one.
That's
Yeah.
all old school stuff. I like that vintage type stuff.
Yeah. Yep.
It swipes across the screen and all that. Okay, so cancel Chronos because I have it. All right. So yeah, if you haven't seen The Day the Earth Stood Still, I put that at the top of the stack.
We have nobody in chat.
Yeah. Darn it. I've got the original thing. Got the atomic submarine, which actually was one of my original projects that got all scrambled up on the computer. Oh, well. Or I should set a link to Cap. I don't know. It's really not his thing.
No, we support him a lot.
Yeah, what the heck? Let me find my Twitter.
Our format's a lot more laid back.
Yeah, and we're a lot more forgiving in the kind of films. Oh, yeah, that message was from you. Okay. Let's see. There's got to be a thing on how to send a link here somewhere. Oh, that's in the broadcast. Oh, here it is. Invite, Doug. Let's see. Where's Mr. Grumpy's? I'll pop one to Scotty. Just
Scotty, yeah, he'd be easy to invite on. He's easy to talk to.
Spidey's usually doing wrenching somebody's channel on Sunday nights, but I'll send him one anyway. And I don't know if I thought I had Hungary's Lincoln here. One carbon. Yeah, because when I had Hungary's Lincoln here, I know he likes these old movies. Son of a gun.
Well, you would not recognize West Texas. It is green.
Really?
From all the rain? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's kind of what it's like around here. Here he is. No, that's not him. That's just a response from him on the thing. Well, shoot.
I feel like I should be singing an Irish ditty or a sailor song or something.
I know what I want to do. Send Kevin a thing to YouTube. Wait, is a cap in the thing?
What was that?
Where's you see Cap in the chat?
No. Oh, yes.
Hello, Cap.
he entertain us. It's not as easy as it
Yes.
looks, huh?
Saying Herc. Well, I
We were
sent you a
trying-
StreamYard link, Cap. If you want to pop in.
That
So we
was
have an
funny.
audience now. We can start the presentation. I hate doing this from my phone.
I was trying to put multiple pages up on my monitor, and I had it just a hair where you couldn't see Cap showing up.
I first saw his comments on my phone when my phone responded faster than the damn computer.
I hope he comes to join us. I like talking to him.
Yeah, that'd be fun. I know what I'll do. I know what I'll do. So professional here.
Yeah, two troglodytes trying to bang rocks together and make a show.
Yeah, we need a professional up here, Cap.
You ever seen a dog watching TV? Because that's he likes it. He watches it. He just doesn't know what's happening. We're learning.
Gotta start somewhere. All right. Oh, I got to notice that the Fandom Boomer is live now.
Oh, cool.
Finally.
Now that guy knows what he's doing.
I wish. He's old and decrepit. Come on, Cap.
But I'd like to meet his tailor. Dance monkeys.
Ooh. He's a mean old fart. Okay, he's not going to cut us any slack.
Standards. Got to have standards. Ours just happen to be low, but they are standards. Yeah.
Okay, so we're exploring This Island Earth, which was released in 1955. Ta-da. Starring Jeff Morrow, Faith Domergue, as she insists on pronouncing it, and Rex Reason, with Lance Fuller, Russell Johnson, Douglas Spencer, Robert Nichols, and Carl L. Lint. She used a sticky roller to get that off. I don't know any of these guys. Oh, Raymond F. Jones, a science fiction writer back in the day. I don't even know if he's still around, but he wrote for Astounding. That may be the source of the serial that this was based on, is Raymond F. Jones.
Right. Yes, he was the original author that wrote the multi, not screenplay, but the fan fiction series. Yeah. He's
one of the fellows I read back in the day when I was combing the library for every bit of science fiction that I could find.
Yeah, from Thrilling Wonder Stories magazine. That's where he wrote that from.
Yeah, all the short stories and compilations I was digging out of the library were all the guys that were writing in the 40s, sometimes the late 30s. This is a step forward, a Technicolor movie for a science fiction movie.
Yeah, very early. Yep.
Yeah. Virgil Vogel rings a Vogel rather. Bub Westmore is the makeup guy who rings a bell. But if you try and find background on everybody in the credits, you're never going to get this thing going.
Oh yeah. There's that William Allen who was the reporter who asked about the meaning of Rosebud in Citizen Kane.
Oh, he was an actor. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Washington, D.C. in the early 50s. Still had some green around there.
Yeah.
And there it is. T-33A. And he's being interviewed. If you really look at this stuff, what he's doing, he's trying to convert lead to uranium. So he was his area of research is electronics and alchemy.
Oh.
How's that for a combination?
Yeah. Two totally, completely different disciplines.
Yeah. Puts on his cheap flight suit over his business suit.
Yeah, it had to be restrictive.
Yeah, it's some beautiful flying footage in this movie.
Oh, yeah.
But we won't have all of that because I don't want to get struck too many times for what I'm posting. Private airfield for Ryberg Electronics, where Cal Meacham has his facility. And that's his partner in crime, complaining about him being late again. giving them crap for it. And here he comes. Oh, like you say, they duck while they're inside the building. That was really useful. And Cal has a malfunction with his aircraft, and it's engulfed in this big green glow. And manages to land itself, sort of. And what's his face saw the glow. Cal definitely saw the glow. They don't know if the other guy in the tower saw the glow. Well, I know, Cap. It really is fascinating. I'm just new at explaining these things. Use an experienced hand up here to help narrate.
We have photos.
Photos. Oh, okay. He's being a wise guy now. That's her locked door. Actually, compared to some of the other movies of this vintage, this laboratory looks pretty cool.
Yeah.
That doesn't look as much surplus Air Force as the other ones did. So he's experimenting with trying to learn to convert a piece of lead into uranium, and it's not going well. It's very hard on condensers. Blowing oil all over the place. I had one like that on my air conditioning unit last year. Well, not that big, but it blew out like that. That'd be one hell of an AC unit. Okay, so they order some spare condensers, expecting to get those big old honking things, and they get this itty bitty little bead. Which looks like something you might use for deviant sexual practices. I'll throw that in for Cap since he likes to talk about that stuff. Stop! So they put it on test and crank up the voltage. And it's blown to shit, but only when they hit, what was it, 35,000 volts or something?
Right.
Yeah. Actually, Cap, this would have gone better had we had more than just the two of us watching the damn movie on the watch party. And then we'd have like a panel that could discuss what they saw. But since nobody loves us enough to get to the watch party, it's just us. Yes, deviant sexual practices.
It's only spanking.
What do they call them? Benoit beads or something?
I have no idea.
Okay.
Not falling for that one.
All right. Career Air Force guy doesn't know about that stuff. So he's calling their supplier, say, hey, what's the deal with these things? We're expecting this big honking items and you send us this. And the guy on the other end says, I don't know what the hell you're talking about. So they start looking at the paperwork, and there's a copy of the telex, which is how they ordered things back in the old days.
All right.
At least making. Come on, Cap. Come on. I sent you a damn link. Okay, so they're looking at the telex, and then they get the order back. So they're testing out the one remaining bead, which looks like a glass fuse with one of those sexual beads in between, and they can't drill it. So I guess they're all frustrated. Let's see. I forgot what he was doing there. I forgot my notes. Oh well. Anyway, so they're calling the guy again, and just confusing him, their supplier again. So what they do is they decide, well, we're going to telex again, because obviously someone's intercepting the order and sending us something new. And lo and behold, something new arrives.
Like your Google account being a...
Yeah. Hack. Oh man, I was recovering my Facebook because I got one of those, a friend of yours has died in an accident type things.
Yeah.
And I barely caught myself on it, so I went and did all the security things on it, changed my password, warned my friends. I send you a message saying somebody died, just ignore it.
Right.
I was talking to another friend, they already got one and ignored it, but not for me. I went and blocked all these people I don't know that become your friends on Facebook for some reason. So they get a whole catalog of parts from electronic service, unit number 16. What is a Facebook? It's some newfangled computer thing where you keep in touch with friends.
Stay away.
Stay away.
It's a time eater.
Yeah. It's good for grandma to see pictures of the grandkids, and that's about it. Otherwise, it gets really, you end up with friends you never heard of.
Yeah.
That's the problem with it. It's like, I look at some of these people and you have these people in common, and I don't know any of the people that they list as in common.
All right.
So somewhere down the row, somewhere down the list, somebody you know, it's their fifth cousin twice removed.
Yeah.
And so after I got done a little bit of info on this thing, I just started blocking all these people. Do I know you? No, you're blocked.
All right.
Okay, so we're looking at our new very thick catalog of good parts. And boy, YouTube is really slagging. Look at that. I was looking at YouTube and it's way behind.
Way behind, yeah.
Oh, there's only two guys in the chat are some guy named Herc130 and Captain Infinity. And no one's given us a like yet, Captain. Come on. Be a pal. Give us at least one like. I'm not going to do it myself.
I did. I self-liked.
Did you?
Yeah.
What, on yours, you mean?
Yep.
No.
I can unlike. There you go.
That's kind of like cheating.
Oh,
let's see.
Nobody has given me a wrench.
You don't have a wrench? You should have a wrench.
Oh, I do, but Captain Infinity doesn't.
Well, you're not online with us. Okay. If he ghosts one of us, I'm going to shoot him. Well, I don't see. How can I give? All right. Here we go. Here's a new test for the noobs. How the hell do you assign?
I don't have a clue.
Learned how to put the chat up on. Okay, so we'll go ahead and do this since he's the only one in the chat.
You throw me the wrench, I'll throw you the like.
I don't know how to throw you a wrench yet. All right.
I don't have the permissions.
Well, you should have those.
I thought so.
Help. Wrench.
I just got go to channel, report, remove, put user in timeout.
Well, that's so tempting.
Hide user on this channel. I don't want to do any of those. Oh, it can't be that hard.
No, it's got to be a way to do it. But clicking on the person in the chat doesn't do it.
No.
Yeah.
You know he's rolling his eyes at us right now.
Yeah, you know what else he's going to do? If I give him a wrench, he's going to time us out. Guests. No band guests yet.
That's what she said. Hurry, no time to argue.
Just being mute, channel plans, go live. Yes. Well, it's not in there. Okay, Cap. Where's the where's the wrench function on this damn thing? Having issues? Yes. We have a smart ass in the chat. Yeah, just gonna stream this from show your instructions for that's not it.
It's funny. There's all kind of videos on it, but I don't want to play a video right now of how to do it.
All right.
Hotkeys? No.
He's making us work for it.
You do it in the YouTube window.
Oh, you do it in the YouTube window?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, Carla's there. Okay.
Oh, Carla. Yeah. We missed Carla entering the room when we were looking for this. How to?
Carla lives in the part of New Zealand that has good internet. Where do you see it on the YouTube side?
That's Captain Finity had written that.
Oh.
So.
Hey, Carla.
May as well give Carla a wrench too.
We're struggling here.
All right.
All right. All right. See how you report people, click things, share things, hide chat, select your name. Okay. I don't have a function to select your name. Hang on a second. Oh, I know why I can't do it, because I'm not me. I'm my other ID. Hang on. I know what I'm doing now.
Snafu Fubar.
Yeah.
And Carla DM'd you.
Huh?
Carla DM'd you. Fubar is one of my favorite things to say.
Okay.
Yeah, Carla, these first couple ones, we're just learning the mechanics of all this and the flow, and so it's actually a good time to do this if we don't bore the captain too badly.
I just
hey, could you take Captain Finity's spanking comment off screen?
Oh, I suppose. Okay.
Very funny. It's all about the details.
I know I couldn't do anything.
Best live stream ever. See, Captain Infinity's brain runs at like 60 frames per second, and mine runs at ours runs at like 24 frames per second. Life goes by just a little slower for us. Like Captain, I think he crams more in a day than we do in a week.
Uh-huh. The thing is, I was logged in as me on my personal thing,
right.
Except instead of as the person doing the channel.
There you go. Captain Finney's got a nice blue wrench right next to his
Carla.
Right.
I gave Carla a wrench too.
As per our deal.
Free and easy with the wrenches.
We got an official like.
If only. See, I don't know if that like's from Carla or from Cap.
I think it's from Cap.
That was the deal.
All right. Cap and Carla, if anybody gets out of control, you're on them.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people in that chat, so you guys are going to have to be vigilant.
You see Cap's comment?
Yeah, I know what that stands for. All right, so they notice that the pages of the catalog are metallic. Just another mystery. So here's where they're looking for something to build, and it's the world famous interocitor. That actually means nothing, but that's what they call it.
That's the same guys that invented the gunculator.
Yes. And as you stated when we were watching the movie, they ordered a whole bunch of fragile from somebody.
Fragile.
Kind of disappointed at how small that picture is up on the screen. That's something to make a note about. All right, so tons of parts, and this looks like me putting together a piece of furniture. I figured out where to start. So now we have a
Phantom? Uh-oh. I think we lost Phantom.
What?
Oh, you went out for a while.
Oh, it went wonky on us.
Yeah. Oh, yes, Carla, if we weren't doing this around friends, it would be like a complete disaster. We are not trying to win a 2B or anything like that. We're just trying to have fun and learn how this stuff works.
We're behind the
curve. I have no idea. I just made that up.
Oh. Well, with only 25 subscribers, I don't think I'm going to get a plaque anytime soon.
Ooh, we have 3 thumbs up. 3 likes.
Did you do one?
I'll make it 4. No. I'll make it the 4th.
Did someone else show up? Did Pop show up? No. I was kind of hoping Pop would show up.
Yeah.
Anyway, they got this thing put together. Oh, that's a boo-boo in my screen capture. That little go arrow.
Yeah. All right.
So they're hearing a voice from the machine explaining to them, oh, I got a thing shows the chat disconnected for a while too.
Ah.
Son of a gun. I wonder if my service has me going through the Mexico server again. It happens now and then. Anyway, they're getting a voice from the interocitor explaining how to tweak it so they can get a decent reception. So they twink the little wheelie there, 18 degrees to the left, as I recall. And there he is, the man with the big forehead. Played by Jeff Morrow. His name is Exeter. And this whole process was a test to show that Cal Meacham has the brains to be part of their project. Now, one thing I've been looking at this, I keep looking at this, and I don't know, and if some of these scenes, if this, because I'm just kind of nerdy for special effects. To me, sometimes it looks like this part, the screen portion, isn't a separate item. You know what I mean?
Right.
These walls are part of this, and then they've got like a full screen projection behind this piece.
Yeah.
And just making it look like it's in that little V section.
I think they said that the guy building the gonculator or whatever it is to see if he's smart enough to make the cut, that seed of that idea was planted for the guy who wrote the script to The Last Starfighter. But instead it was the video game.
That whole idea where the video game was the test.
Right.
To put a teenager at the controls of a starship.
When these guys were kids, this is the kind of stuff they saw that inspired them later in life. So.
Oh. And Junior there tries to take pictures, but they'll all just come out fogged, which should be a bit worrisome. You see, it just looks, this whole section here, it looks like this back section, and you can see a seam there. Looks like this is all of a piece in some shots. Instead of this device standing free as a separate thing, it just really, really looks like it's part of this beige panel or whatever.
Right.
It's always bothered me, even as a young fella. So now he's offering him a chance to come visit his facilities, and there's going to be a plane warding for him at their airfield, and it's only going to be there for 5 minutes. So if he doesn't hop on board, he's going to miss out of an opportunity. And Exeter tells them to put the book and the plans on a little table there. And these little deadly beams come out and destroy the evidence. Boom. And that's really bugging me because you can see the shadow of the thing, but that could be just all part of the props too. Anyway, so they're a little bit disturbed there. And they get a feeling something else is going to happen. And sure, shooting a gonculator, the interocitor starts to glow and smoke, and he tries to pull the thing out and gets knocked on his butt. Well, the thing explodes. So also no more evidence. So here we are. Here's your favorite scene.
Yes.
Where they're
Carla, notice the windshield wiper motor.
Working the wipers manually. The cat bail on us.
Yeah, I think so. I would have bailed on this too. There he is.
I would have bailed on us too. So he's still trying to talk Cal out of going. They hear the plane arriving, and it ends up being this very highly customized DC-3 that's all whited out, single seat, luxury. Kind of cool. I just thought this was kind of cool. Drone plane. Sit back, relax, fall asleep while you fly.
Captain
Oh, he's
commented,
there. You have little faith. Sorry,
yeah.
Cal.
He disappeared from the participants. Well, Carla disappeared from the participants.
Oh, we had that
Just,
glitch too. Like,
yeah, it just does that. Oh well. Anyway,
you know, I noticed stuff like that more late at night. So I don't know if that's just a bandwidth issue, the entire neighborhood getting online to talk to grandma or what. But when I don't see this happening when I'm following other people in the morning, or like when I'm catching cap stuff in the morning, I don't notice it hanging up like that. It's only get some weird crap happening in the evening on some of the other channels that we won't go into at this moment.
I didn't notice it, but notice the little airplane.
Oh yeah, that's the one they escaped. Yep. Oops.
Yeah.
Spoilers. Yeah, that's what is that? It's an Aeronica.
Yeah, Aeronica. Yeah, Carlo's with us.
Yeah, he was landing in Van Nuys, so you're right about that. Okay.
We lock up again?
No.
Nice. Go see me all over again.
Well, there was some note somewhere about what kind of plane that is. It's like a 1949 Aeronica something, I think.
Yeah.
Plane spotter heaven. Yeah. Even people in the chair force like airplanes.
Yeah.
We get to look at them. So Cal gets out. This is supposed to be Georgia. And we go from being plane nuts to car nuts. Imagine what that vintage Woody would be costing you nowadays. That's probably like that's probably like $100,000 vehicle. And there is Faith Domergue, as she insists on calling herself. Kind of hoping Hungary would show up for this one. I think he likes this movie. Yeah. And he remembers her from our previous conference where apparently they went swimming, as kind of implied skinny dipping.
Oh.
But she pretends not. She remembers the conference, but she wasn't the girl that went swimming with him.
But you know what? I believe she isn't sure whether he is under the influence.
That's right.
Say, of the aliens. So she is faking it, saying that she doesn't remember, and then he's filling in those gaps and telling the truth. So she starts trusting him a little bit more.
Yep. Yep. Because there are nasty things afoot. That's a cool house, though.
Yeah.
I like that house. I'd like to have that house in that car and that airplane. as long as I'm dreaming. I don't know if that's a set or if they actually shot that in the.
Yeah, I don't know either.
It's a pretty nice set if they did. And there's Herr Doctor whatever. There's Brack, Exeter's #1.
Yeah, with that forehead.
Yeah, like nobody really comments on the forehead
Yeah,
all that much, which
got
is
a
which is always kind of interesting.
definitely a 5 head or a 6 head.
Yes,
Huh.
have a dirty look.
It's because he weighed 25 pounds at birth. His head's misshapen.
Oh, that had to be a C-section with that head. Ouch. Okay. And Exeter comes out of his office and invites them in. She hangs back with the professor there for a bit. I've got a whole section at the end on him. Learned some interesting stuff about Russell Johnson, which was common to a lot of actors of that vintage. So they have this kind of weird conversation where you know something's up with them, but they're not saying. She heads into the room, and Exeter does his little interview with Cal. Says, "Well, what if I don't accept your offer?" "Well, we expect you to exercise discretion, and they have a way to enforce that discretion." So he's going to get a tour via Interocitor. And Exeter's controls are all in his desk drawer there. And they get a view of Cal's lab, should he accept. And there's Brack down there getting things ready for him. You can tell he's a shifty son of a gun. Look at that look. Got some info on him, too. And a view of his own interocitor. All these interocitors talk to each other. And they can look through walls and get different viewpoints that regular cameras can't do for some reason. Now we got an urgent call coming in from Interocitor headquarters somewhere. So he chases them out. "You guys go, and I will deal with my incoming call." And he's got the feeling that something's up. She keeps looking at him like, "Yep, there's something up," and she's still not sure about him. In the meantime, Exeter is talking to his boss. A little bit of discussion of how Plan A is going and his disagreement with some of the things they want to do to the scientists, which is kind of make them more amenable to their goals. And his point of view is when you do that, you take away that little spark of inventiveness that we need in them. But he gets overridden. So we have dinner with everybody around the table from various countries around the world speaking various languages. And nobody seems to be translating anything. I guess Brack and Exeter understand all these languages. And they're playing some Mozart. They're playing our Mozart because Exeter kind of makes a faux pas there. "Oh, yes, your composer Mozart." "What do you mean, our composer?" "Oh, yes, well, my mind was somewhere else." Bullshit. Okay, so here we go with these other two that both know something's up and they still don't trust Cal. So they head downstairs in the elevator to look at Cal's laboratory. I'm still wondering if they've shot in this house. Anyway, there's the cat. There's Cal's lab, along with the lead slab a copy of the one he has in his lab.
Orangey the cat.
Orangey the cat. That's a very good name. Look at that. So Cal, being very suspicious of what's going on, has this idea, and he just kind of BS's his way to sliding the lead slab in front of the interocitor, and then they've got the lead-lined vault there where he does his testing, and he gets them to come clean with what's going on there. which seems to be that they got a machine that they will sit you under. It looks like a hair dryer, and it makes you very compliant. And they've been dodging it so far. Meanwhile, Exeter and Brack run into his room, and it turns out the interroster, unfortunately for us, unfortunately for the good guys, can look right through a lead sheet. So they see that these people are aware that something is funny here. But Orangey the cat, who goes by the name of Neutron in the movie, is sensitive to the output of the interroster and howls, and they notice something's going on, so they kind of backtrack their conversation. But they know what's going on. Look at that look on his face. I am looking at both YouTube and the StreamYard, and the StreamYard is pretty much in sync with the presentation, but YouTube is quite a ways behind.
Yeah.
About a 10-second lag behind that, so I don't know what that does to the narration. Good thing I'm not doing a good narration. But anyway, they know what's up. So Cal continues to do the work that he was hired to do, turn lead into gold, or in this case, uranium. And he's chit-chatting with Exeter. He wants to put on a little demonstration. He has him step to the other side of the lead slab, slide it over, step away a bit, and Exeter demonstrates what he can do with the interroster, which is burn right through the darn thing. So, on the one hand, he's showing them that, we can kind of fry you up and we can see through the lead. But on the other hand, he's telling them they can see through the lead. So he's kind of giving them a heads up. So Exeter seems kind of conflicted here about whether he's going to go ahead with the plans that his people want to go ahead with, or if he wants to be nice to the Earthers. So, next meeting, they put the cat up there, which doesn't get disintegrated, spoilers, as to warn them when interroster goes live. And here we go. The professor has drawn pictures. And instead of commenting on the hairdo and the foreheads, which just seems to be the big thing that even when I was a little kid, says, why the hell are people accepting those foreheads as normal? They both got a little indentation there, which indicates some sort of control device. And also, the side of the mountain has a big hole in it covered over by a piece of canvas, which they need to go investigate. And the cat gets all fussy, but he just wants more milk. So back at Exeter's office, his boss is online with them, telling them they got to speed up their schedule, get people going. And turns out that they're going to have to take those 3 scientists with them to wherever they're going, because they need them to finish the project. So they're going to do it. But in the meantime, our friends are trying to get the hell out of Dodge, get into the Woody, and off they go. Which, of course, Brack could track them with the interroster and shoot beams from I don't know where, but they're trying to blow up the car with our friends in it. So the professor advises they're going to stop. Everybody's going to scramble out and head for the bushes and get away from the car. Except the professor, being a hero, stays in the car and gets himself all blown to pieces. Boom. And here, Dr. Whatever, who also appears to have had an idea of what's going on, also gets blown up, whatever. Now that looks like somebody scribbling on the negative to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Yeah. So while they're getting away or trying to get away, something is launching from behind the house out of the mountain. And there's our first look at the spaceship. And they're trying to get into the plane and get away, and away they go. Our friends Exeter and Brack blow up the house before they leave. Boom. And they don't get far in the airplane. They get sucked up into the flying saucer. Which is kind of cool. Some of these sets and these designs and the mat work and all that.
I
Pretty decent.
thought they were really good.
Far, like Forbidden Planet, some of the work they did on that. Some of the mat work. They're all covered in gunk and mud and taken to the control room in the saucer, which is flying away from Earth. There's Exeter in his spaceman suit, explaining what's going on with them. And here they go through the thermal barrier. Which, if you look at that, they're already pretty far away out of the atmosphere. So, not sure what the thermal barrier is. Just something handy to make people sweat and have some more effects. So the ship is smoking hot. And I don't know if this is a cooling system or you're supposed to think you're looking out the windows at the smoke around the ship. That always confused me. Wish we could find some more details. Finding details on these older movies is a major pain.
Oh, yeah.
Because they didn't become super popular till late in the day. So it's not like nowadays with modern films where they plan all these extra features for the DVD release to let you know what went on in the background. Didn't have that back in the day. So it's years later, you're hoping on people's memories and notes they took or whatever. Right. Or even hoping these people are still with us, because a lot of these people working on this thing were old, 30s and 40s type guys who didn't quite make it.
That special effect of the flames, I thought was really good.
Yeah, I had a feeling that I had the model hung up there and they're just blowing a blowtorch on it or something.
Right.
Because some cases on the ship, the flames looked it's a real good job.
Yep.
And they're still all covered in mud. He's going to get them all cleaned up after they go in the brand new toothpaste tubes, as Cal calls them. Because the atmosphere on Exeter's homeworld of Metaluna is much more dense and under much more pressure, your body needs to be adjusted to be able to deal with it. And that's what those tubes are for. So they send them off with Brack to get their own little jumpsuits and set them up in the tubes. And those little hand grips are magnetized. So, of course, being magnetized, they grab their hands and hold them in place. This lady's the only female alien in the movie. There were no other female lady aliens in that thing.
They had really good tailors.
Yes, they did. She looks pretty good in that jumpsuit. Oh, Faith was talking about the jumpsuit. They're, again, similar to what was going on with Lost in Space and those burrito suits they had in the early episodes. She couldn't move in that thing. She couldn't even wear undergarments in that thing. She said it was so tight. So she had to get a lady makeup person to help her get in and out of the darn thing. And that mud that wasn't makeup mud. That was real mud that they got at the bottom of that pond when they're
Oh
hiding
man.
in there. So that was all real grunge and dirt and stuff. And she said after that scene, she had to go in the shower, and one of the makeup ladies had to help scrub her down with big sponges to get all the mud off. Well, anyway, they pop in the tubes, and we go through some.
Ooh.
Special effects there as they're being adjusted to be able to handle high pressure. Now it's interesting on this skeleton, like a female skeleton should have a little bit different hip girdle than a male skeleton. I don't know, maybe there is a little bit of difference, but might be the ankle since they're using a smaller skeleton. I don't even know if that's a real skeleton. Kind of looks a little bit off. But anyway, they come out of that, they're woozy, they get helped over to these little recliner chairs. And while they're flying towards Metaluna is in the middle of a war with some other people trying to wipe them out, which is why they're trying to get all these earth scientists to develop a new energy source for them, like turning lead into uranium so they can increase their capacity for nuclear energy. But the opponent is using guided meteors to attack them in their homeworld, which is interesting because that's something that happens in more recent science fiction, military science fiction, is kinetic energy weapons, which are guided. Actually, that happened quite a bit in the Expanse, the best science fiction show on television, where the pirates from the bad faction of the UPA, or IOPA rather, attacked Earth with asteroids and beat the crap out of it. That's what these aliens are doing. They guide these meteors in. You can almost see the ships, which on TV in the old days, watching this on black and white TV, you couldn't see the detail, but down the road, we got some detail. I was able to capture some detail on that.
Yeah.
Oh no, they're going to hit us. You can point defense weapons, which are a thing on the Expanse and most of the military SF I'm reading nowadays. And actually, these are, all things considered, I think the effects in this are a lot better than in Lost in Space.
Yeah.
Irwin Allen should have watched this movie a bit.
One of the tricks in this angle is to actually place the camera at the top of the studio, cause the explosion at the bottom, and watch it roll up. And then that gives kind of a more expanding flame or moving flame look. So, yeah, it's a pretty interesting effect.
I like the design of the ship too. It's not like a saucer. Actually, It looks like it could have several levels, and actually, you could probably hang an engineering section and some pylons on it, and have yourself a Starfleet vessel. Oh, we're starting to see Metaluna, which looks kind of gloomy and not having a good time as they're being constantly bombarded. You go through Metaluna's thermal barrier down to the surface, which is a total wreck from being bombarded all the time by the enemy. And everybody has moved underground. And here we go. And I just want to say, to quote somebody, all right. What do those little icons mean, Cap? You're flying what?
I don't know, but I like that.
Yeah, this stuff looks as good as Forbidden Planet, I think. So they got to make the run from the docking port through all the crud, and they managed to also show you all sorts of debris on the platform there to enforce the idea that they're getting the crap beat out of them. And onto the little travel car that goes through the tubes and takes them to the monitor building where the big boss is. Along the way, they get a tour of, well, that used to be the recreation center, and that used to be this, and that used to be that, and everything's just blown to pieces. And there's the boss, and everybody's got the blues in here for some reason, and he's being a total peckerhead about the inferior humans and how they're going to move to their planet, and since they're naturally superior, they'll be running things. And once we put you in the hairdryer, you'll go along with that. You'll be fine. I've got some info on this guy too. And he's feeling bad about the whole thing, and he's trying to walk the line between his boss and not screwing over the earthlings that he likes. And the bombardment continues with all sorts of neat explosions, and he's walking them over to the hairdryer. And she decides, ain't no way in hell I'm going to get my hair done here. So they start to run away, and then all of a sudden, there's a mutant.
I call that guy Brad. Look at the big brain, Brad. Yeah.
Oh, this is the costume where they put pants on.
Yeah.
Watching the stills, you can see where, they don't connect with the hits.
Right.
Watching through there. Rex Reason was like 6'3" and a very big dude. I wouldn't want to get gut punched by him, even by accident. I don't know what she's doing. So they knock him down, and they're going to try and dodge around the creature. But luckily, the enemy manages to hit the catwalk there, or little walkway, and everything comes tumbling down on Big Fritter and ruins the crease in his trousers. So they scramble over that. The monitor, the big cheese, is under all the rubble, so he's out of the picture. And they head for the transportation tube with Exeter right behind them. And he's decided to help them get away. So they head back to the ship, run into another one of these critters who's also been injured, but he's still active. Really ugly close-up. They thought this is, when they saw that, they really didn't like this critter in his makeup. They thought it kind of degraded an otherwise pretty good science fiction movie, which Jeff Morrow thought about in the Giant Claw, which we'll do down the road here. Back, I say. So they scooch by, but the mutant's not mutant. They keep calling him mutant. It's not the only movie where they use that phrase. So he grabs at him and pokes him in the ribs. They see that happening, run to the plane, imagine it's a fire extinguisher, beat the crap out of the mutant, pound him to the ground. So they're heading to the control room to close everything up, get the ship ready for launch. And the mutant manages to squeak under the door just in time. Oh, they're taking off, taking a view of Metaluna, which is about to really bite the dust there because it's pounding the crap out of it. Won't be anything left. There's a better shot. This is something that in the black and white TV days when we were watching this on Saturday afternoons, you couldn't see this part. You couldn't see this detail. Right. Little ships towing meteors. So I don't know. It's almost like a stealth bomber silhouette.
Yeah, it does.
But it wouldn't be because it's a little bit too soon for that, or so we think. So anyway, they try and cruise out of there through all the crap, through all the bombardment, and there's another good shot of one of the guided meteors. That whole smoke trail is really good.
Yeah.
And Metaluna finally turns into a small sun, which will hopefully warm the environment for some other race someday. Back into the toothpaste tubes they go to get their bodies adjusted for the Earth environment. Yeah, you were wondering if they were using dry ice and freezing their booties while they were in
Right.
those things. I didn't see anything on that. If it was super uncomfortable, you think they would have talked about it.
Yeah.
So while they're in the tubes, they're flying away, and we've got the silhouette of something evil, and she's coming awake there in the tube and sees the guy entering the room. And these sections here, these were the bulk of like the publicity stuff for this movie that I remember.
Right.
Okay, Carla, we'll see you. Thanks for showing up.
Bye, Carla.
Scream some more. Oh, she was a scream queen, right?
All right.
That was her job. That's ketchup.
Yep.
Or ketchup, depending on where you are. And it was apparently it was getting pretty rank under the lights there on set. So it's pounding on the glass tube and it falls over, and tube's starting to rise, and the critter's starting to rise again and starts chasing her around. Which you almost could have done a clip of this playing some Benny Hill music, which was yakety sax, by the way. But so he chases her around, grabs her, and he finally collapses on his own. She doesn't even have to do anything. And he kind of dissolves. Maybe because he wasn't in the tubes adjusting for the new atmosphere.
Yeah.
Which just occurred to me.
I'd buy
How about
that. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So we got a very sick looking Exeter. They're all beat up, but they're approaching Earth. This model was used in another movie, this Earth model, somewhere in another science fiction movie. So apparently they didn't blow it up or anything. And they're trying to talk him into going with, and he says he's going to go explore, and they're calling bullshit on that because they know he doesn't have the energy to go anywhere. So he chases them off to the plains, and they wave goodbye, and he waves goodbye. And he starts fading away on his control chair.
It's heading straight to San Diego.
Yeah, there's Baja. And there's San Diego. I wasn't there yet. I wasn't even in California yet. I was over here when this movie was made. San Diego. Okay. All right, so they hop into the. It's not a Piper. I'm pretty sure. It's an Aeronica Chief.
Yeah.
There's the note. It's an Aeronica Chief.
I think
the
next one after that was the Champ. And that was the one that got sold a lot of airplanes. Anyway,
so they're in there. They drop out of the saucer, which is actually kind of a cool effect. I should have kept the video of this. I'm going to save this. I'm going to save this presentation if we can ever get some more people on the watch party.
Yeah.
Cap, watch a movie with us. And away they go. And it does look like the California coast because they're flying over that. There's all oil derricks.
Right.
Yeah. And of course, they get all kissy face at the end. And her lipstick is still in good shape. And he knows what's coming. But yeah, I get the feeling that they ran a blowtorch on this puppy.
Yeah. Another trick is contact cement, lighting it on fire.
Oh yeah,
because it's pretty wind resistant, so you can get some Interesting effect out of that.
I was watching that fairly recently on a YouTube channel of one of these teams that um, what's the word I want to use? Does a recreation of special effects from older movies.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I lost track of the channel, but it was pretty cool. And they were using contact cement,
Right.
and they used too much. And one of the I had to put the whole thing out with their fire extinguishers, so they didn't burn down their little studio. But it was a small crew in a small like in a warehouse, and young guys, I guess, new to the special effects business. But when they showed the results, it was pretty slick. Here we go. He dunks into the ocean. And that is obviously the tank at Universal. All right. I don't know if Cap's still here. You still here, Cap? No, yes, no, maybe so. Oh, Jeff Morrow. That's a weird picture. But he was in The Robe, which is probably the biggest movie or the most famous movie that he spent time in, I would think. He did a lot of he was a stage actor before he got into movies, and that The Robe was the start of his film career.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's on stage as Irving Morrow as early as 1927, and he performed opposite people like Maurice Evans and Katharine Hepburn, Mae West. And his career started in 1953 with The Robe, so he was still fairly new to the movies with this one. And he got out of the film business and worked as a commercial illustrator.
Huh.
Too bad he's not around. You can probably hire him to help with a comic book. He also did radio acting, so he had, well, we could tell from the movie, if you watch the movie, he had a voice.
Yeah.
And he could alter the tone and volume of his voice, driving sound editors crazy. But he later on was known for the monster movie. So he did The Silent Earth, The Creature Walks Among Us, which I think was the last creature from the Black Lagoon movie. I'm not positive on that, but I think they did Kronos and The Giant Claw. And we'll do all of those. Nope. Mm-hmm. So, Cap, if you're still out there, we could actually use some professional input. We're not shy about that.
Yeah.
You've been at this a lot longer than we have.
He runs a pretty fast-paced show.
Yeah. These presentations rely a lot on the idea that we had several people in the watch party.
Yeah.
So we have a panel going over this instead of me just trying to BS my way through. Now, I did a thing for, I think it was for GOG, where I posted a recorded review that was a little bit better than this, but these really won't take off unless we can get more people on the watch party. So I don't know if we should hold on these right. kind of things until we get more people watching the movies with us. And then we could have a decent panel to discuss this stuff, and it wouldn't be all lame.
Yeah.
So
it's a lot of work for you.
Oh God, it was.
Yeah.
It was. If I was going to do this, I'd be doing one every 2 weeks, because there's no way I could crank these out.
Right.
And do all the research and crank this out in a week, and do the screen captures. on say a 90-minute or 120-minute flick. Okay, well they didn't like the creature in this movie, and they really didn't like the creature in the Giant Claw. They didn't even see the creature till they saw the film. So they were just like nowadays, stare at this ping pong ball and pretend like it's scaring you to pieces. And that's what they did. And then they saw the creature when they finally saw the film, and they were pissed off.
Right.
The audience, it's just the night of the premiere, and the audience at the premiere was laughing when they shouldn't have been laughing.
Right.
And they're up there. They said we were up there on screens looking like idiots. And basically the effects people ran out of money, and they couldn't afford anything but that puppet. And he was Jeff Morrow said he was really embarrassed. And there he is fighting none other than Richard Burton.
Yeah.
There in the robe. What the hell? Okay, so there's a slide out of place. See what happens when. Okay, here's our friend Rex Reason. Born in Germany while his family was on a business trip. He grew up in LA. Didn't really want to be an actor. But his mom, stage mom, wanted him and his brother to get into it, and they both ended up doing that. He was in Seventh Heaven in a high school play, listed in the Army at 17, which is something I think actors nowadays aren't really doing because they're a bunch of wussies.
Yeah.
After his discharge, enrolled in the Pasadena Playhouse, which is not chopped liver, and became involved in Little Theater. Top billed in his very first movie, Storm Over Tibet. Smaller parts and pictures at Columbia and MGM, contract player at Universal International. They billed him as Bart Roberts, as if Rex Reason isn't a good enough big hunky movie star name.
Yeah.
And he beat them up going back to his own name. And he was in a TV series, The Roaring Twenties, which I don't recall. Well, that's from 1960. I should have been watching TV. When that was done, he decided he couldn't act. He decided he wasn't going to. He got out of Hollywood. He and Jeff Morrow were both in This Island Earth and The Creature Walks Among Us. And they both did, I guess he did some TV because they did that episode of Perry Mason together.
Right.
Playing Shakespeare actors. And he was being defended by Perry Mason for murdering Morrow's character with a sword that was used between them in a Romeo and Juliet fencing scene. Oh no. There's Faith. Domergue, or Dorma, or she wanted to pronounce. Born in New Orleans, part Creole. Adopted when she was 6 weeks old. And her parents took her to California, raised in Catholic schools in Santa Monica. First experience in the acting profession at school on stage at the Bliss Hayden Theater. I don't know what that is, but apparently just after graduation, she was in a car accident, got thrust in the windshield, and they had to rebuild her with plastic surgery, which would have been pretty impressive in those days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good enough for her to be on screen? Yeah.
Yeah. There was an actor that had the same problem, Van Heflin, I think it was.
Yeah.
That face planted a windshield, and they had to rebuild him.
Mark Hamill.
They didn't do a very good job of rebuilding him, though, considering when they did it. I mean, it's totally different. He must have really messed himself up. He was out celebrating me and Luke. Never made it as a major star. Like I said, she was a scream queen. Say that 10 times fast. Like Jane Russell. Actually, Jane Russell kind of supplanted her in Howard Hughes's affections.
Right.
Because she was hot with him for a while. So she was kind of a cult actress after this and other science fiction films from this period. And she didn't really like the genre. She was in Cult of the Cobra, It's on Earth. It Came from Beneath the Sea, The Atomic Man. Okay. I'm making a list of all these movies, see if I can find them. Russell Johnson, the professor. He had a good run, 1924 to 2014.
Yeah.
Okay. He was a well-known character actor, so he'd been around when Gilligan's Island came around. Western sci-fi classics, This Island Earth, That Came from Outer Space. We're going to do that. Hungry should pay attention because he likes this movie, I think.
Yeah.
Grew up in Pennsylvania, went to boarding school in Philadelphia with his brothers when his father died. Was not a bright student, held back a grade.
That's funny.
But he did put the pedal to the metal and made the National Honor Society in high school. Joined the Army Air Corps when the World War II broke out, broke his ankles and earned a Purple Heart in a hospital when his B-24 Liberator was shot down in the Philippines during a bombing run in 1945. After the war, he used the GI Bill to enroll in acting school. He enlisted to become an aviation cadet and rose to officer's rank, first lieutenant under service number 765497. Flew as a bombardier in B-25s on a total of 44 combat missions over the Netherlands, East Indies, and the Philippines. And what was he had his crash in a 24, it said, right?
Right.
World War II decorations include a Bronze Star, Air Medal with Oak Leaf Cluster, Purple Heart, Good Contact Medal, Asiatic Pacific Campaign Medal with 3 service stars, the Philippine Liberation Ribbon with 1 service star, the World War II Victory Medal with Honorable Service lapel button, earned his Purple Heart for injuries during battle when the B-24 Liberator he was crewing on was shot down during a bombing run against Japanese targets in the Philippines in 1945. Served for over 12 years as an officer of the Air Force, first as he was one of us, as an active duty World War II bombardier, then as an inactive member of the Officer Reserve Corps upon the creation of the U.S. Air Force in the late 40s. And when was that exactly, Herc? When in the late 40s?
47?
You betcha.
Yeah.
Was augmented to the U.S. Air Force Reserve and briefly a member of the 4th Air Reserve District in San Francisco. At 53, became an inactive officer once again and received his final discharge from Air Force Reserve in August 1957. All right. Tom Cruise, Brad Pitt, can you match that? No. It's my daddy's generation.
Yeah.
Lance Fuller, that's Brack.
Without the head?
Without the head. He did westerns, played bad guys.
Yeah.
Was in This Island Earth, Godzilla, Kentucky Rifle. In Los Angeles in October 1968, he was confronted by a police officer while in the process of hitting parked cars with a 3-foot-long iron pipe. He then attacked the officer, loudly proclaiming that he was both Jesus Christ and God. The officer, who suffered a broken right hand, shot Fuller in the chest. Fuller underwent surgery at LA Medical Center and was later said to have recovered, at least physically.
Wow.
So he was totally whacked out.
Huh.
Here's Monitor, Douglas Spencer, who you may remember as Scotty the reporter in the original movie, The Thing from Outer Space.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, he appeared in numerous films. He was in real life, he was Ray Milland's stand-in, and did uncredited small acting parts in Milland's films. He was the Monitor in This Island Earth and Scotty the reporter in The Thing from Another World in 1951. So he was in that before he was in This Island Earth. And one of his last performances was a 2-headed alien in the Twilight Zone episode of Mr. Dingle the Strong.
Huh.
And He appeared as Beetle, the first person Raymond Land sees after regaining consciousness in the alcoholic ward, after falling down a stairway in A Lost Weekend. Good movie. He was Milan's stand-in for decades. And there he is. There's Ken Tobey. It's Dewey Martin. Not the Dewey Martin who was part of Buffalo Springfield and Poco, but Dewey Martin, the actor, who was also in a few Twilight Zone episodes. And all these other guys that were just character actors of the period. That's one of my favorite movies, the thing. And there's Rhodes Reason, his brother, who was Flavius Maximus.
The most awesome name ever
of Star Trek. A little bit younger than Rex. Also started out on the stage under the direction of Charles Lawton. Darn near 40 years in the biz. 230 roles in television, movies, and stage. He was in the series White Hunter in England in 1957. He was, I don't know, there was a TV series, Bus Stop. I remember that.
Man.
And he was in Death Valley Days a bit. Here's Lucy, Maverick, Sunset Strip, The Time Tunnel, Perry Mason, and Star Trek. Played Daddy Warbucks. Son of a gun. And here's all the trivia sources. That's the end of that. So, I don't know. You still out there, Cap?
I haven't seen Cap.
All right. Okay.
Hope we didn't actually bore him to death. That would be terrible.
We might have. Well, we can always ask. But I think these presentations they require that we had a bigger audience than us,
right?
So we could shoot the breeze on the movie. That just didn't work out all that great. Oh well, It's a good thing this wasn't recorded. It's still fairly early here. It's still light out here. Summer's almost here. I'm getting half a day of sunshine lately. Okay, so figure maybe some watch parties. Well, I just had a thought. I was taking notes as these various movie names came up.
All right.
And let me take us off the air and broadcast.